Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Concern podcast, where we unpack political, social, economic, and cultural stories shaping our world. I am Emmanuel Taban. Now, according to a Pan African human rights defenders network, an umbrella of human rights organization, in 2021, when Uganda had a general election, the government of Uganda under General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni had actually disconnected the entire country from access to internet for 4 days. According to this human rights network, from 13th of January 2021, which was a year before the day of the election, because the election was held on the 14th. So from 13th of January to 18th of January, Uganda was completely disconnected from access to internet. That is according to the Human Rights Network. And the most interesting thing is that there are also claims that in this coming election, which is happening on the 15th of January 2026, there is also a high possibility of the government in Uganda to shut down internet or to disconnect the country from access to internet. There is a high potential of that happening. And this only came to be evident when, I think a couple of weeks ago, the government issued a memo restricting the importation of Starlink and its usage in Uganda. And the memo said that if anyone intends to import the Starlink, they should be given clearance from the Chief of Defense Forces, the CDF, who is the son to the President of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and that is Muhoozi. That anyone who intends or anyone who plans to import or install Starlink into the country, they should be given clearance from the Chief of Defense Forces. And people start asking themselves questions. Why issue this restriction? Because one, Starlink, it's a very quick satellite internet, I think, that makes people to easily access internet even in very remote areas. It becomes so easy to connect, and you can easily have access to these messaging apps and all kind of stuff. So and so many people in remote areas have always relied on Starlink. So, but the government has said that there is no one who should import Starlink into Uganda without clearance from the CDF or Chief of Defense Forces. And for these reasons, analysts and even the opposition have started seeing signals or plans by the government to also shut down the internet in the coming election, which is about to happen in the 15th of January 2026. And as people who are exposed, as young people who always don't run short of ideas, young people who don't run short of alternatives, the presidential candidate, who is the major opposition leader in the country, Bobi Wine or Robert Chagulanyi, has encouraged his fans to actually shift to an alternative way on how they can easily get in contact with each other should the internet be shut down next year or on January 15 during the election day. And that app is called the Bitchat app. The app was founded by a co-founder of former Twitter, currently X. And one interesting aspect of the Bitchat app is actually that the app uses a decentralized infrastructure that does not require individuals actually to insert in their personal information, like their phone numbers, like their emails. Like you can only just connect with Bluetooth, and therefore you can start messaging yourself and sending messages to each other and videos and all this kind of stuff. And it doesn't internet, just like these traditional messaging apps do. So it's a very good alternatives there. I mean, a very good discovery by the People Power movement leader, or the National Unity Platform leader, Robert Chagulanyi. And he has made it on different platforms, actually encouraging his supporters to download that app and use it in January. Should the government shut down internet, and they can use that app to actually send videos of incidents happening during elections, could be malpractices and rigging and all this kind of stuff, but also communicating with each other in a situation where maybe the internet is completely shut down in the country. So, and I feel that is a very good alternative there by the president of the National Unity Platform. And one thing about these the Bitchat app is that actually when the protests happened recently in Madagascar in September, the young people who actually led that protest, they used this app, the Bitchat app, to communicate with each other. When the government tried to shut down the internet, they were communicating, coordinating with each other, sending videos and all this kind of stuff. And actually in Madagascar, in just 1 week time during the protest, the app had witnessed like over 70,000 downloads in 1 week alone. And that was in Madagascar during the protest that happened in Madagascar. That is in 1 week alone. And also in Nepal, when the protest happened in Nepal as well in September, so many young people who were, the major part to that protest, they also used the Bitchat app. And it was also said that in September in Nepal, just on the 8th of September, 1 day alone, the app had witnessed a huge number of downloads, about 50,000 downloads. 50,000 people had downloaded the app, the Bitchat app, during the Nepal protest. Whereas in Madagascar, over 70,000 people downloaded the app, and they used it during that time of the protest. So, maybe a big question here is, the implication. When we look at the language here being sent by Bobi Wine, it's kind of different. You are encouraging people to use the alternative, way of communicating should the internet be turned down. And this alternative way has actually succeeded in different countries in bringing government to an end. In Madagascar, we've seen it happen during the protests, and in Nepal as well, it happened until the Prime Minister resigned and all this kind of stuff. So, what Bobi Wine is encouraging here is it's giving an alternative way on how the young people can actually be together during the election day. And should the government shut down the internet, they can have an alternative way of communication, but also reporting major issues during the election, like malpractice and rigging and all this kind of assholes or intimidation of voters during the day. So I think that is a very, very good move there by the leader of the National Unity Platform, the opposition leader, Bobi Wine. A very smart move, encouraging his supporters to download the app. And we are likely to see that this app would actually register a very huge number of downloads compared to the one maybe in Nepal or in Madagascar, because this one came early. They plan to use it already, so people probably have a very good time to download it until January 15. And a very interesting move there by the leader of the National Unity Platform. But thank you so much for watching. I'm Emmanuel Taban, and until next time, this is the Concern Podcast. But before we end this episode, I will leave you with this section here. On our business section for today, are you a South Sudanese parent living in Uganda who desires to preserve your child's national identity, cultural values, and academic continuity without sending them back to South Sudan? Then worry no more. Excel International School proudly offers South Sudanese families in Uganda the opportunity to access the South Sudan national curriculum in a secure, nurturing, and academically enriching environment right in Uganda. As you pursue stability and opportunity in Uganda, your children can continue their education seamlessly following the South Sudan syllabus, guided by qualified, experienced teachers who understand both the academic standards and cultural foundations of South Sudan. At Excel, they deliver genuine South Sudan curriculum, strong moral and academic foundation, experienced and culturally grounded educators, safe and supporting learning environment, and convenient campuses both in Kampala and Arua. For the Kampala campus, they are located at Zambia opposite the American Embassy, or you can contact the principal at 077-168-2831 or 074-2288-712. And the Arua campus is located at Adalafu in Arua City, or you can contact the management at 077-3498-768. Admission for the 2026 and registration for the 2026 academic year is ongoing. Parents are encouraged to register early as places are limited. Give your children an education that connects them to home, heritage, and hope without borders. Excel International School. Fear God to excel.